Hello and welcome to the Personal Finance Savant Google Sheets program. I couldn't be more excited to bring this to you. This really was 10 years in the making of me revamping my own personal finance tools that I've built over the years and putting them all into a single package so that you don't have to manage all these different things between your bank accounts, your credit cards, your budget goals, your retirement planning. All of that is built into this one tool. In this video, the goal is really to give you just a little bit of an overview for someone who might be interested but isn't quite sure, but hasn't purchased yet. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes going through some high-level features of the tool. But if you do end up purchasing or you have already purchased, I recommend you go to the full video tutorial. I'll go ahead and link that in the description below. But to jump right into it, there's really four main sections of this tool. There's the calculators. These can be used at any time throughout the year whenever you're trying to make a big financial decision or you need just a little bit of help. These tools really will come in handy at any of those big financial decisions that you're trying to make in your life. And to hop into a couple of those, you have here the federal tax calculator. And by the way, this whole thing is easily clickable and navigatable. All these different buttons and pages are going to take you right back to the home screen whenever you want to get there. But looking at this tool here, all you have to do is enter in what you expect your gross income to be for the upcoming year. And let's just say in this example, it's $60,000. You type in your filing status, whether you're single, you're married, you're filing jointly or separately, or you're head of household. And then it's going to automatically calculate these numbers down here for you. So you'll pay roughly $8,500 in federal income tax. You'll have $3,700 to Social Security, and so on to get to your final total federal taxes that will be due, as well as the effective federal tax rate. So combining all those together compared to your income, what that number looks like. To check out another one here, this is one of my favorites. This is the retirement calculator. So you're able to enter in a number of different inputs on this side, and then this side over here is going to be all the outputs, all the automatic calculations done for you. So you're putting in things like your current age, when you expect to retire, how long you expect to live until, and then you're entering all of your current information. So what's your salary today? How much savings do you have from a Roth and a traditional standpoint? Do you have savings that are in a taxable account? Do you expect to have any type of inheritance value at some point in your future? And then you go into your annual contributions. So that's your current snapshot in time. Now, what are you going to do every year moving forward, or what's your expectation? And then you have your assumptions. So take your best guess here. Nothing's going to be perfect, but what do you expect your salary increase to be on an annualized basis? What do you expect your rate of return to be on your investments? I put 7% here. It's pretty conservative if you look at stock market historical returns. What do you expect the annual rate of inflation to be? Because as you're planning your retirement, you really need to plan in how inflation is going to impact your purchasing power. So every year, the purchasing power of your money actually goes down, which is the whole reason we have to invest it, to outpace that inflation and ultimately grow our nest egg. And then you have what you expect your retirement effective tax rate to be. And it's going to put all that information together to give you what your total income would be, what your total retirement contributions will be throughout your career. It'll give you an account value analysis at your retirement age for each of those three different buckets. And then it's going to give you that as well after taxes. So if you're familiar, Roth contributions are already taxed when they go in. So if you pull them out and meet all the conditions to pull them out legally without any fees, then that money doesn't end up getting taxed again, but then your traditional would be taxed, but your taxable investments are already outside of a tax advantage account, so those won't face taxes. But it's going to do all that for you. And that's going to do your annualized income expected. So you can look at that in a raw dollar value, but then you got to think about all those years of inflation. So for this example, we talked about you're going from 30 to 65, so that's 35 years of inflation that was chipping away at your money, which means your actual purchasing power is going to be not $163,000 in today's dollars. It's going to be like $67,000 in today's dollars. And then it'll tell you what your last year of purchasing power is, because you're going to live, remember, from 65 to 85 in retirement. So you're going to be getting more inflation chipping away at that. So your last year of retirement, you have really about $40,000 worth of purchasing power. But really, if you're early on, if you're further along, this is a fantastic tool to help you understand what your retirement outlook looks like. There's a couple others in here. Another good one is the debt repayment. So if you're thinking about borrowing or you already have debt, you're thinking about how much money you want to throw at that each month, that'll be a great tool to help calculate those numbers. And I won't get into the other ones on this video, but again, check out the full tutorial if you're interested in those. And then you get into the data entry section. So one of the most important parts of this is you must fill out annually this financial goals section. So you're going to put in your income goal, your net worth goal, how much you want to save between your overall net income at the end of each month, as well as how much you're putting away in your investments each month. What's your goal for your credit score? And I'll get into that in the full tutorial. But your credit score has a huge impact on when you're borrowing money, whether it's for personal loans, home equity loans, a mortgage, credit cards. That credit score is going to affect all of your borrowing costs, and it can be significant as you add that up throughout your life. And then what's your goal for your effective tax rate throughout the year? And then you'll jump down to the budget section. There's already a very comprehensive list of budget categories built into here, and you'll see on the next page all the different subcategories underneath of these. But annualized, how much do you expect to spend in each one of these categories? So make sure you put those goals in there. And then on the budget page here, every month you're going to go through and enter in your data. Let me shrink my face over here, get it out of your way. Every month you're going to go through and enter in your income, all the different types of income you might have. So wages and tips, most common, but you might also have interest income from a bank account or dividends from some stocks you own. All that needs to go in here at the end of the month. And then all the money you're putting towards investments. So how much money did you contribute to your 401k, for example? How much did you contribute to your Roth IRA? Make sure to capture all that data each month. And then your taxes, grab that information from your paychecks. And then here's all those different subcategories I talked about. So household expenses is the top level category. And then you have all these individual things that likely a lot of people are going to be exposed to. Things like electricity bills, water, sewer, and trash bills, phone bills, cable bills. It's already broken out for you. And you can choose to be as detailed as you like and enter in all these different ones because you're like me and you want to know exactly where your money's going. Or if you don't need that level of detail, just enter in the total number somewhere in the month, and that's all you got to do. I'll scroll down so you can see all the different categories included, but you have transportation expenses, health expenses, gift and donations and religious donations, consumption, personal expenses, child expenses if you have children, entertainment expenses, travel expenses, and then things like obligations. So do you have student loans or anything that you're constantly having to pay back each month? You want to record that as well. And it'll give you a nice little yearly summary. This is automatically calculated up here, but for your total income, investments, taxes, and expenses, and then bringing that down to your net income. And you'll notice in the right-hand side here, you can see the total throughout the year for any of these different categories. And at the bottoms, you can see the totals for each individual month throughout the year. But this is just the data entry section. When we get to the dashboards, all this information becomes much more valuable when you can visualize it. Another one in the data entry I wanted to hit is the net worth tracker. So in here, again, there's a summary section at the top that's automatically calculated. But here you're going to enter in your asset account balances. So this is things like your cash, liquid cash on hand, your checking account, savings account, your home, I would consider to be an asset, your home's value. And then your retirement account balances, so things that you're likely not going to touch anytime soon or you're not supposed to touch anytime soon. This is things like your 401k, your IRA. And then your liability accounts, all the money that you owe to people, so your credit card, your student loans, your mortgage. You can enter in up to 10 different items per each one of these different accounts. And that's going to give you your net worth at the end of each month as you enter in all this data. And those are really the two sections I would recommend at a minimum that you must be in every single month. These other tools in here I'm not going to cover in this video, but these are more optional. So if you need something to keep you on track with what are all the bills I have, when are they due, how much is due, that'll help you track that. You can track your credit score. And then one actually that's also important. So if you want to track this not just on a yearly basis, but for your entire lifetime, the lifetime data tab at the end of each year, you're just going to copy in your final year numbers for your things like your cash flow. That's all the things we talked about on the budget page, your income, investments, taxes, and expenses. And then you have your balance sheet summary. So you'll just copy over your full year, for example, 2023 into here for your assets, liabilities, and retirement. And then you have your credit score. What was your credit score at the end of the year? And then you have your final values in each one of those different expense categories you had for each year. So you can do this up to 12 years here. And if you like, you can create another template and then do another 12 years in a separate template. And you can use this throughout your entire life to see your full life financial growth, your financial picture, all the goals that you made and how you progressed against them. And that's one of my favorite parts about this tool. And then you get into the yearly analytics and the lifetime analytics section. I'm just going to cover a few of these on the yearly side, but you can imagine as we go through these, each one of these exists as well for your entire life. So we'll look at it on a monthly basis for the yearly analytics, but then on the lifetime side, you would see those same analytics, but down here it would be 2023, 2024, and you get the point. But this one is meant to be, you want to just see your data on one clean screen. You don't want to navigate deep into the details. You just want a quick and dirty look. This one has here your balance sheet, so that's all your financial account values throughout the year, as well as your net worth throughout the year. Up here you have your annual expense breakdown, so how much percent of your money went to each one of these categories throughout the year. So I spent 34% of my money on household expenses. I spent 18% of my money on consumption expenses, and then you can see the rest of those as well. And then down here, you can see your total expenses each month and actually broken down into each one of those color-coded values. And these will match the same color coding up here as well. But you can always hover over these to see how much you spent on any one of those categories in a given month. And then this dotted line up here is nice. This is actually your total monthly budget that you planned for when you were planning your financial goals in that earlier section. So you can see, was I above my budget? Was I below my budget? If I was above it, where am I spending most of my money? To help you course correct throughout the year as needed. And then this one's a great cash flow walk here. So it's going to take you from your income, subtracting out the money you pay to your investments. And you might see here I'm subtracting out the investments, even though the money's staying with you. We call this paying yourself first. So you treat your retirement savings as an expense, and that's you paying yourself first before you pay your taxes, before you pay your expenses, and before you have leftover savings at the end of the month. So that's just a different way of looking at it, treating investing as an expense as opposed to kind of a luxury you have if there happens to be some money left over. But that's a great dashboard here just for a quick look. But if you want to look at any of these in a little bit more detail, a little more granularity, you can go into these other dashboards here. So this one is the cash flow dashboard that's going to show you the same analytic that was on the snapshot page, but it's also going to give you these individual looks at your income. These are monthly values. This is a cumulative running value sum throughout the year. So just to give a quick example on this, this shows in September I made $7,900, but the full year up through September I made, call it roughly $65,000. And all those charts will exist as well for investments, your taxes, and then your expenses as well, and your net income down at the bottom. And if we go back to the home page, another one I want to take a quick look at is your expenses. This one is really a powerful tool to understand exactly where every dollar you're spending is going. In this chart here, this is the one from the financial snapshot, so nothing new there. This annual expense breakdown you saw. But then you can see as well what's the actual dollar amount you spent in each one of these individual categories. And then if you want to look at that not on an annualized basis, but on a monthly basis, you can see how you are performing in each one of these 10 different categories against your budget. So here was the household budget you set earlier in the process. It's automatically calculated over here. All these charts that you're looking at are automatically calculated. Nothing needed to be done on your end. But you can see easily within a glance, all right, I'm consistently going over on household. I'm doing pretty good on transportation, doing very well on health. I'm doing great on entertainment. And this gives you one quick look to understand, where am I spending too much money? Where can I afford to spend a little bit more money? And just gives you that one clear picture of where all of your money is going. That's all I wanted to cover in this overview video, this shorter one. If you're interested in purchasing, feel free to reach out to me. I'll have a link down below as well, where you can purchase this spreadsheet if you're interested. But also, please check out the full video tutorial before you decide to purchase. I want you to see all of the value that you're going to be getting from this spreadsheet. And if you like this video, you like the content and the spreadsheets and the tools that I put out there, please go ahead and give me a like. Give me a comment if there's something else you'd like to see in here. And please subscribe so then you can see all the other videos that I'll be posting on this type of topic, as well as others. And if you find someone, or you know someone who you think would get value from this tool and really would benefit from it, they need some help financially, understanding the decisions they're making, help them make goals, please go ahead and send this video their way. I would greatly appreciate that, and I'm sure they would as well. All right, thank you again, and please feel free to reach out in the comments with any questions. Thank you.